How are you? It's Monday, February. Let me guess. Oh, I don't want to blink. February 18th. Yep, I was correct. February 18th. Somehow, the weather's really cold. It went down like 40 degrees this morning, and but today's. I mean, it was milder now than yesterday by 20 degrees. But of course, I woke up around 8:30. I had my shower. Everything was fine. I had prepared myself. Then suddenly, I got a knock on the door with Steve around quarter to 9. Because they said, we don't have much of an event today. And saying that we had an emergency setup at the Ritz-Carlton. Because last night, Andy brought the arrangement for today. After he did a strike, and in addition, I arranged the blue hydrangeas on blue gels with cremonium or the Fuji mums, and saying that the hydrangeas have wilted already. So we were like, oh my god. So Steve and I drove up to the warehouse to get some stuff, but the hydrangeas are only few, so we just brought the cremonium and the spider mums, and we went to Coastal to get the blue hydrangeas. Luckily, they have the blue hydrangeas, and we went to Ritz-Carlton to replace them. Victoria, who's taking care of the event, New York Life Company under Kirkland, was there, and it was only 6 arrangements. But we have to replace them because they're going to use it the whole day until tomorrow. So we have to pick it up by around 10 o'clock. So we were there before 10. So since the stuff that we brought there before were there at the banquet office, I started to put them back to the van. And then by 10 o'clock, we pulled up the 6 arrangements, and Steve, replaced these hydrangeas already with new ones, as well as the cremonium and everything. And we placed them on the table. So that was one down. And we went back. We drove. So after that, instead of driving first, because it was Steve who drove the van. So after that, he was relaxed, so I was able to drive the van, and we have to meet with Robert at the Enterprise to return the other van. But we went first to Dunkin' to have his coffee, and then I had my croissant and went to meet Robert at the Enterprise. And Adam was there, and we returned the other van. It was dented. So they have to report that event. And then then Robert drove the van, and I was at the front, and then Steve rode at the back, and we went home. So for Steve to drive the truck, and I thought he's going to the warehouse. So I was quiet because Robert was not in the mood for the whole day because of what happened. It was like a bad morning for him. And then we drove to Hypoluxo for the repair shop, and I said, wait a minute, that truck looks familiar. It's like our truck. And Robert said, like, yes, it is our truck. Because I thought Steve is going to the warehouse. And I wanted to find out that we're going to have the truck also being checked and repaired, because the brake fluid was leaking, so you have to fix that. But we had the Jeep already there, so the 2 cars are already there, and we only have one. It's a rental van to use for this week. So we picked up Steve there, and we drove to Subway to get some order because it's almost like 11:30 to for the promotion for February top 5. What is that? 5 whatever channels, and we went to Subway to order this promotion for the foot long, 5 foot long. That's every foot long will be $5 only. So we ordered that for our lunch, and we went to the warehouse. And so after that, Josh was there already, and he was leading some stuff, especially returning all those Hampton lanterns. And I did arrange. No, I have Robert arrange the event. What do you call this? Another arrangement on the 4x4 glasses for the croquet club tonight. And so we ran out of the green bottom mums, so I have to go to the Coastal again to get some. And so after that, of this arrangement, Steve had a meeting with the bride and groom, and then we're also doing some samples for Hello Florida. And another thing, the clients from Hello Florida doesn't like this kind of arrangement, so Robert is a little bit you know, it aggravated him again because of those things. And hopefully everything will be well tomorrow. And so, um, what do you call this? Andy came in that afternoon to pick up the stuff. He's in charge of the Kirkland events, and actually he brought all his stuff that early. And this is coming from him because he's giving away all his shirts before the rest he bring it to Goodwill. So thanks, Andy. I got this jacket. I love this sweater, and I have the hat, so I'm wearing it right now. Andy Wortman is one of my colleagues for Touchy Paradise, and then he left, and after finishing all the stuff, I was planning the whole day to do the taxes, but I couldn't do it because Steve is using it, and by early afternoon, I brought Steve home because we were only using one car, and came back to the warehouse. And by 4:30, Josh was done with his work, so we decided to go home. Robert drove the van, and we dropped Josh somewhere on Lucerne because he lives in Lake Worth Road already, and it's easier for him to take the bus. So we dropped him off. He said he's going to do some, errands and do some shopping. And then when I got home, I was planning to do the workout, but my body was really asking me to take a rest. So I just had my dinner, an early dinner of leftover noodles, of the pancit, the Filipino food with the lumpia or the spring roll. And then I lay down on bed and like falling asleep. So I got up first and checked some emails and went back to bed. It's just I need a rest. And so by around 8 o'clock I woke up, and then I prepared myself. Was watching some news, I think, on TV. And I know I have to watch Blue Brokers, but I have no choice because Steve told me we were going to do the strike for the croquet club instead of Andy because he's not with himself right now. And so by 8:30 I told him, are we leaving now? And because it's too early. So I went back to my room, have a hot tea, and then he knocked on the door and said we have to leave. Okay, so we went to croquet club. I drove the van with our the stuff are inside the van, and then we waited for them. And when I thought the strike would be at 9:15, it ended up like 9:45 because we were waiting for the guests to leave. So Jason, who's in charge of all this bus thingy for the plans, said we were okay to take the strike, so to strike the stuff. And Victoria was there, so I took pictures of it. So I have to post it on our Dropbox so we can use it, promote it for our show, for our Facebook and website. And after that, instead of going to the warehouse, we just went home. And I watched one of my favorite shows, Castle. It's a story about the detective, who's a writer, and his daughter, who's a teenager, was kidnapped. And he found her through Skype. She didn't know that she was in Paris. So it will be continued the next week, and I'll be excited to watch it. So that's the thing. I called up Tony Gasses, my friend from Kuwait, who's in Orlando, telling him about the plans because I already canceled my reservation for Crestwood Suites where he stays rather, and then I'm planning to go to Parliament House to stay there instead because we plan to go there in the evening. However, Dan was hopefully he's not getting sick because he's catching cold already, and he said if in case he won't make it, I have to ask Adesh if in case he'd be free. If not, it's either have to move the schedule to March 9, which is a Saturday, because so far we had an event on the next weekend after by March, or I have to drive by myself on the 24th. So we'll see. But hopefully, I wish it'd be with Dan. Anyway, that's the day. What happened today? Hopefully everything will be good tomorrow. Sometimes you have some downloads, and we have to be optimistic with everything. So, thank you so much for following my journey. This is Louie. See you then.